Hey everybody, this is Mark Machuda. I just got back from Boise, Idaho. I was there last week attending a workshop and I learned a ton of stuff. One of the big topics was high ticket sales. And if you don't know what a high ticket sale is, basically anything over $100 is considered a high ticket sale. And it's hard to make those sales because you could sell products online, info products or whatever it may be for $20 or $9 all day long, right? You don't have to talk to anybody. But from my experience and, just talking to a lot of experts in the field, the consensus is that anything over $100, it's really hard to get someone to pull out their credit card and buy something online because they don't know who you are. It's not like they're walking into Walmart. That people trust Walmart, right? That you go to Walmart, it's like a physical place. So, it's a totally different ball game. People are just really scared about buying things online. So, as I listen to a lot of these speakers talk about the idea and concept, I had this epiphany on how to triple high ticket sales without even going to the office, without even being at the office, right? And I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's actually better. Now, if you wait just a few minutes, I put together this mini webinar to share with you. I promise I'm going to lay out this entire strategy and you'll totally get it. It's actually really easy, but yeah, it's actually better than what my title says. I mean, on a bad day, you're going to triple sales. On a good day, you're going to 10x sales. Okay, so just hang in there. I'm gonna explain everything to you. So why is this so new and different? Well, there's magical technology that I created, after screwing up so much that allows you to do this. It allows you to make sales no matter where you are in the world. And it automates this and just makes your life a lot easier. So who the heck is Mark Machuda? Well, I started a couple startups. I have over 10 years of experience of wins and losses. As an engineer at Motorola, so I'm very familiar with mobile technology. I think it's really cool. I love it. I don't know how many cell phones I have, but I go through cell phones like crazy. So after doing this for such a long time, everybody, it's like a common saying, it's a numbers game. Sales is a numbers game. So there's all these really interesting statistics here. I don't know if you could read those. But another trend that I've noticed is people don't want to be chained to their desk. People are more so on the go today than ever before. There's more people working home. There's more people just traveling for their job. And so more and more people do not want to be chained to their desk. They want to be doing sales at the beach, right? So I'm going to give you 3 simple rules to triple your sales. And this is on the conservative side. A lot of these gurus or marketers, they say sales are not typical or results are not typical because they picked their best student or best case study out of thousands of people, the one person that has crushed it using their strategy or whatever, and they use that as a case study. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the opposite here. I'm taking, the worst case scenario, you're going to triple sales. Best case scenario, you're going to 10x things, right? Okay, so again, I've done a ton of things right, and I'm even better at doing a lot of things wrong. I have a lot of fails. And the reason I mention that is because it's important to know you're taking advantage of my screw ups in the past, so you don't have to do those, right? So I discovered all this the hard way, and you basically get to leapfrog ahead and skip all these pitfalls that I've made. Okay. All right. So here's where the magic starts. So you could generate a lot of online leads and sales and conversions. Well, when it comes to high ticket sales, your conversions are going to be fairly low. Okay, so let's look at the numbers. So you generate leads online, your conversion rate is 1%, and so out of 1,000 leads, you get 10 customers. Okay, not bad. Well, what happens when you actually make a follow-up call with some of these leads and try to close them over the telephone? You answer their questions and you kind of disarm their concerns and reservations. You're gonna have a 10% conversion rate. Okay, so you have just went from 1% to a 10%. That's 10x. Okay, and let's say you do a really horrible job, and you go from a 1% conversion rate online to a 3% conversion. You've still tripled your sales. All right, so that's what the numbers look like, and even better if you can meet up with them in person. That's just really hard to scale. I mean, how many times are you going to meet up with someone and travel all over the place meeting with your clients? That's just really, really hard. But that's what the numbers work out to be, and that's how you could triple, quadruple your high ticket sales. Now, so that's the underlying concept, but how do you do this? Well, years ago, I had this idea. Well, I was driving in my car. I had a trip from Chicago to Des Moines, Iowa. I was meeting a client there, and I had this good/dangerous idea. I should just print out a spreadsheet of all my prospects and follow-up calls to make, and I could just dial these follow-up calls in the car. I had 5 hours in the car. I could give all these people as much time as they wanted, and so that's kind of a dangerous, terrible idea. I about wrecked my car. I was manually dialing this printed off sheet of past prospects and customers and leads or whatever. It was just terrible, and so I was like, man, there's got to be a better way. So I was looking in the App Store. I was trying to find just a really easy to use, simplistic auto dialer. Something that's not going to chain me to a desk. I wanted the complete opposite. And I just couldn't find anything. I mean, there are a couple just really dumbed down, just kind of stupid versions where you create a list and you're supposed to click on each person to call them. I just needed something that would auto speed dial my list of leads, pretty much hands-free, and it would skip the people that I already had a conversation with. I could take notes. It would track all my call activity. So, at the end of the day, I don't really have to do a thing except talk to my customers. I mean, that's that's the easy part of phone sales, right? The hard part is being a robot and manually dialing all these stupid numbers. I mean, that's the part I hate. The manually dialing everyone and being chained to a desk, that's what I hate. So lo and behold, I created a company to do this. I couldn't find it in the App Store. I couldn't find a good solution that was just simple, that would just like do all the manual, tedious work for me. So I created CallOnTheGo. Now, when you're at the beach dialing these high-ticket prospects and leads, you just have some amazing conversations with them, and all the call activity is tracked in your dashboard. So whenever you do log into a computer, this is what's waiting for you. All this awesome call activity, who you had the longest conversations with, at what time, the best days and times to call. I mean, it's just awesome. And you don't have to press any buttons. This just happens. All right, so let's summarize. After 10 years of experience and making a lot of mistakes and just learning from them, I found out I could do things the hard way, and I did things the hard way. I pounded the pavement, and I manually dialed a ton of people, and I found out, like, if I'm gonna call a list of 10 people, I counted all the different buttons that I had to press, and it's like over 100 different, typing in all these buttons, and it's just like, I'm not a robot. I don't want to be a robot. It's just like such a headache, and it's really slow. Manually dialing all these leads and then praying that people will call me back, it's just like kind of a disaster, and that's why people don't do it. I think a common misconception is people think like, oh, making sales calls is hard because of rejection. Well, that's a tiny part of it. People don't like dialing 100 leads in one day because they don't like the tedious grunt work of manually dialing. Now, what if you could go to the beach and boot up your app? Here, I'll just go back and show you. What if you could go to the beach, you boot up your app, and you select which campaign you want to start dialing? It starts exactly where you left off, skipping people that you already had a conversation with. Or you could just skip down the list, right? What if you could do that? What if you could put a headset on, Bluetooth? I prefer a wired headset. And what if you could just have wonderful conversations with people? What if, these are leads, these are high-ticket sales, these are sophisticated people, really awesome people that you're going to enjoy talking with. If you could just eliminate the nonsense of all this manual dialing, the manual note-taking, the manual, like, tracking the call activity, that stuff is a disaster. I don't know how people do it without being chained to their desk. There's some great tools out there like callfire.com or 59.com. These tools are really expensive and they're awesome, but they chain you to a desk. They're really complicated, kind of hard to set up. And so I don't want to go through a learning curve of going through that nonsense. I just wanted to drag and drop my spreadsheet into CallOnTheGo, and I literally wanted to run out the office and, take a walk on the beach. So I'm from Chicago. I live like just a few blocks away from a few beaches on Lake Michigan, and I'm not exaggerating when I paint that picture. I can literally go on a walk in Lincoln Park, throw on a headset, go on a walk on the beach, and crush sales. And I have users that do the same thing. I would love for you to have the opportunity to try this. Good luck. Thanks for your time.